Welcome to my art studio. In this video, I will be showing you my copy of one of Vincent van Gogh's masterpieces. He's a Dutch painter. He lived from 1853 to 1889. The painting I painted, he painted in 1888. In this video, I will share with you my process of painting this painting, tips and tricks along the way. The reason I chose to paint one of his paintings was that I admire his style. He used very bold and loose brushstrokes. Vincent loved color. So I made a copy of Edvard Munch's Summer Night. In January, I found myself copying one of Edvard Munch's paintings. This really inspired me to study more from the same era, and this led me to dive deeper into Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, leading up to Expressionist style. Both Vincent and Edvard Munch started painting the same year, but Edvard lived till he was 83. Vincent, he only lived to paint for 10 years. He died at the age of 37. And although I started painting a copy of Edvard Munch, studying Vincent's life was so fascinating. And I just loved his painting style with its loose brushstrokes and free use of color. And I wanted to paint this copy to incorporate some of those things in my own work. I'm going to share about my process as well as showing you the final result. I'm going to talk about some of the choices that I made in my study, and also share a little bit about what I might want to do differently the next time. Stay to the end of the video where you will see my master's study of Vincent van Gogh's Oleanders. Let me walk you through some of the things I did in preparation. I pored over his paintings, listened to lectures about his art and life, and of course read letters and writings about him. I discovered details about how he learned to draw and paint, his upbringing, social life, his career, and his mental health. Before painting, I did some research on what Vincent's color palette would have looked like, discovering what colors he used and preferred, and what colors were available to artists in the 1880s. The green you see here is chrome green and was not found in his palette, but rather mixed these type of greens using blue and yellow. Vincent painted about 900 paintings during his 10-year art career, so many wonderful pieces. He developed a unique style where each brushstroke expresses his love for life. I cut his paintings into little swatches showing his brushwork, getting a closer look at his brushwork and use of color, as well as the build-up of his paintings. This small sketch that I painted with watercolor helped me get familiar with the placement, proportions, and composition of the elements, and I learned about the different colors represented in the painting, using grid to map out the composition. This grid is one that Vincent used, and it helps you place the different objects in the composition. It helps you with proportions in a very easy way, rather than using grid with horizontal and vertical lines spread evenly throughout the canvas. This type of grid I find is more effective. Using a palette knife, I started with the background. I applied green color in thick strokes. And as you can see, this canvas was one that I had previously painted on, and I painted over an old painting. Vincent also used to do this, and I encourage you to do the same if you have paintings sitting around that you really feel are not something you want to keep. So give yourself permission to paint over old paintings, but be careful. I once painted over my son's favorite painting. So yeah, just caution there. As I started out, I just loosely blocked in some color in the background, leaving suggestion of the table, books, vase, and part of the flowers. Next, I painted flowers and the books, and I suggested the leaf and table. The next step was to paint the table, vase and the books more detailed. And I added purple in the flowers where I picked up the purple of the table. I really love the greenish yellow of the background in the painting, and I realized my background was bluer, and so I went ahead and changed the background color. I also used this hatching style brushstrokes in the background that Vincent often used. Also in this part of the painting process, I made the vase a darker color. I then added the leaves, and here you can see the finished painting. I added the writing on the book, and I did a warm glaze over the baby blue of the vase, and there's like 3 lines, brushstrokes on the table in the same blue that I glazed over with a warmer color to adjust the colors. Remember, this is in the final stage of the painting process, so I'm doing mostly details and not so much loose, free, like the style that I initially painted in. My intention was to copy the painting in order to learn about how he paints and to expand my vocabulary as an artist. As I started this painting, I decided to be open-minded about what the results would look like. I told myself whatever the result, it would be fine. The goal was not to make a perfect replica of Van Gogh's painting. My intention was to copy the painting to learn about how he painted and to expand my vocabulary as an artist. Be kind to yourself. Perfect means it is never good enough unless it is flawless. Excellence means it is good enough when you do your best with what you have at your disposal, your time, money, knowledge, skills, and temperament, and more. I prefer excellence over perfection. The definition of perfect is being entirely without fault or defect. Excellence, however, is the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. Even better than excellence is authenticity. I think being authentic is, it just beats everything. Being authentic means that it's good enough if it's genuine and clearly not a copy. The definition of the word authentic is of undisputed origin and not a copy, genuine. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to talk more about, and also let me know any questions you have. I'd love to hear from you.